Joining us to talk about that and other things is our good friend James Roberts from the Offside Hockey Podcast. He's out in the Maritimes. How you doing, James? What's up, bro?
Not too much, buddy. Just taking a lunch break here at work to talk to the infamous Rod Pedersen.
Nice to have you aboard, my man. And before we talk about your Leafs, what's your take on this offer sheet situation? I guess the base question I'd have for you is, do you like this mechanism that's in place with offer sheets? Because I do not. How do you feel about it?
I actually do. I wish there was more of them. It adds a little spice, a little intrigue. It adds to rivalries. It can really spark things between GMs, a la Brian Burke and Kellen Lowe back in the day, if you remember that. The old I'll take you to the bar and beat you up kind of speech. But it really does add a little flair to things. And also maybe for some players, it's a mechanism to get the dollar figure they want or close to it. You look at Kotkaniemi out of Montreal, same kind of thing there. Got a nice little payday because of it. So I like it, to be honest with you. I wish it was used more.
There's no wrong answer on that. But I will say this. To me, it's a matter of perspective. If somebody came after your young Leaf stars, you'd be pretty ticked off about it, I would think.
I would, but it depends on the contract, right? If you're, just say Mitch Marner, you're offering a $10 or $11 million deal. I mean, look at the structure that would be there, the bounty of picks that would come the Maple Leafs way. You can really start to wheel and deal at a trade deadline if you still have a team that has John Tavares, Austin Matthews, and Willie Nylander. So you can really see both sides of the coin. It just depends on, I guess, how you feel about things. And you know me, I'm all for whatever makes my team, the Maple Leafs, better.
Sure, and I'm for what's best for the league. I think it penalizes teams with superior scouting and personnel departments, and for that reason, I don't like it. But we all will have our own opinion and continue to love NHL hockey. It's been an interesting offseason for the Leafs. You know, new captain, obviously, players coming and going. How would you grade it, and how are you feeling with training camps opening up now in just a few weeks' time?
I'm going to give it a solid A, to be honest with you. Craig Berube coming in is a more of a crest on the front than the name on the back kind of guy, and he doesn't care who you are. He will sit you if you're not playing right. Jordan Kyrou says hi. And then you look at the other moves the team made. What was the biggest crux for this team? It was defense. So they went and got, as your producer Clark Monroe would say, a puck-moving defenseman in Oliver Ekman-Larsson, a shot-blocking, net front clearing guy that I like in Chris Tanev. They tried to bring in Yanni Hakanpää. We'll see if that comes to fruition, if his deal actually goes through, or if his knees are just toast. But this team looks a lot better, and people will complain about up front they didn't do enough. But I think you start to realize, hey, a lot of good teams use young talent, and they're going to bet on the Nyes, the McMahons, the Fraser Mittens, the Cowens, different guys to come in and fill roles, and you know, that'll give you some cap space as well towards the trade deadline. So for me, the offseason's an A, and a lot of people are freaking out and saying this team isn't going to be as good as they were last year. I think they're going to be better.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you on that. Were you a proponent of Sheldon Keefe being let go? By the way, it sounds like you are.
When you do not get results, and it's a results-oriented business, you have to look at what you can do. If you're not willing to part ways with your superstars, which it seems like they're not, because you've seen the four of them sitting around the table the other day, they're all coming back, you have to change something, and a coach can be significant. A coach with the right message at the right time seems that way. You look at Sheldon Keefe's Game 7 speech to Craig Berube's Stanley Cup Game 7 speech. It was completely night and day. I think sometimes this team needs to stop being coddled and just basically get it given to them and start motivating them differently than just, hey, here's everything, here's the keys to the city, go play. It's got to be, hey, here's some accountability. If you don't do it right, you're not playing.
You know, we all have our little corner of the league that we follow. For me, it's the Panthers and the Lightning. And I was on the South Florida Tribune podcast last week, and they said, how do you feel about the Oilers-Panthers rematch in the regular season? And I'm like, don't really care. It's a new season. A lot of players have changed. You know, it's not a big deal to me. In Toronto, is the New Jersey Leafs game circled? Is that something you guys are talking about? Sheldon Keefe's first game against Toronto. Do you know when the date is, for instance?
I don't know the date off the top of my head, but I'm going to take a page. I forget what coach it was that said, it's I think it was Evanston, who said it's BS if you don't think it matters. It does. It matters to that person coaching the team. It matters to the players. There may be players on the Maple Leafs who didn't feel they got a fair shake from Keefe, and they really want to stick it to him. And Keefe on the other side feels like maybe he should still be there, that he was scapegoated. So, of course, there's going to be money on the board on his side to get the team going. So, yeah, all these games matter. When guys come in and face their former teams, you tell me for 1 second Steven Stamkos is not looking forward to playing the Lightning? Come on now. And the Lightning aren't looking forward to playing their former captain? Those things there, it gets the juices going. Anybody who says it's just another game is just talking out their arse.
Yeah, just so you know, Bomber Boy in Calgary writes in, he says, offer sheets are collectively bargained by the GMs themselves. Sure, buddy, but not 100% of them. I said if the GMs didn't think it was a good thing, they wouldn't have them. I'm sure the majority liked them, but I'll guarantee you not all of them like them. That's all that I'm saying. The Barflies in Winnipeg writes in, he says, I'm not thinking Matthews will be a good captain. What do you think about that?
Well, there are a lot of things that were said already this offseason, just from Berube, from when he's come in, but also from John Tavares and other guys. And then, of course, you know, Brendan Shanahan, Brad Treliving, speaking how Matthews conducts himself within the room, how he tries to hold guys accountable and does all these different things. You don't put a letter on a guy's chest just because. There's obviously got to be something there leadership-wise that they want him to be able to have a little bit more power, have a little bit more room to say, hey, if you don't do this or don't do that, or guys, we got to pull it together here or there.